Hello everyone, this is going to be a little quick edited video regarding some of the best Steam Next Fest demos I played. And obviously stuff like Absalom I feel has been very heavily covered, so I thought I'd talk about things that are less well known. So I'm going to be covering two games in this video, which is going to be Rushing Beat X here and King Static. I feel like a lot of the other stuff has been pretty extensively covered. And also running a little bit low on time. I don't know when they're going to take these demos down because usually with Next Fest, what happens is sometimes they will take down the licenses, so you can't play them anymore. Other times, they'll take down the demo, but you can still play it provided you don't delete it. And I don't know what they're going to do with either of these. I'm a little bit strapped for time. In the event that I find a couple more demos in these next day or so that I think are worth playing on the channel in the future when they're fully released, I'll let you guys know. I did enjoy Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, but I feel like that's been extensively covered, and I haven't played it as much as these other ones, so we're just going to do this today. Alright, so first thing about this game that's getting a lot of complaints is the characters walk and function like shambling zombie corpses unless you run. Now what's interesting about this game is it has dash and jump cancels. So when you're on the same axis as an enemy like this, the game feels fine. And when you see that green circle, that means that you initiated a cancel. There's also jump cancels as well. Moveset seems pretty small, but it seems like there's also hidden moves too. Definitely think they need to increase the walking speed, especially when you're going to another axis, because it's painfully slow.
Prepare to face the consequence.
There we go, full combo. This game actually does feel pretty good to play, but the standard movement when you're not dash canceling is very slow and clunky, and I think that that's a problem because normal people aren't going to be trying to do dash cancels, right? When you're on the same axis as an enemy, I think it feels pretty good. But when you're off axis or not able to dash cancel, the game feels very stiff. A good example of this is if you play as Kazan, he doesn't have a run, he has like this teleport dash, and it feels really bad. He's simply not able to move around the screen quickly. Despite having 4 stars in speed, he's actually like the slowest character. I think it's cool that they want a lot of the depth to be in the cancels, but you still just walk way too slow. Repositioning and chasing something off axis feels really bad in this game.
Until no more games.
So when you go into Ikari mode, which is a staple of the Rushing Beat games from the SNES era, certain moves get extra properties, and you also get a super, but the super will take away the whole bar. I do think it's a little bit strange that you can't like manually activate it. It has to be automatic. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of strategy to using it. The only strategy is pretty much, are you going to burn a super to either clear out a big crowd or try to combo into it on a boss and take off like 60 to 70% of their health.
Until freed from Injustice will not be tolerated! Crushing
Interesting how the zombies can be faster than the very alive player characters. It's just a strange game. I think they really wanted to make it stick out by like having the cancels be basically required for the game to feel fluid, but Steam is very fickle. People aren't going to really want to play a game like this. I personally think if they made it so that you could run off axis, meaning vertically, I think the game would be a lot better. But then you have characters like Kazan who can't run at all, so that's not even really a full solution. For most of the characters in the game, it would be a solution.
We'll keep... Injustice will not be tolerated! Consequences of your actions. Until freed from strife, we'll victory for justice.
There we go, nice.
Until freed from strife, we'll...
Like the reference to Tough Enough there, also known as Deadly Dance. Jalico totally butchered these games when they brought them over here, though. It's interesting that this game is actually trying to have a cohesive story when with the Jalico American branch, the North American branch, at the time in the 90s when these games were coming out, basically just made stuff up. They didn't really try to have any kind of cohesion. There's not even really any kind of direct reference to, I think the characters being the same in all the games. So with this one, it's actually going to be like, you know, they're starting to bring over Super Sentai and stuff. It's kind of similar. We got this weird localized version, but then, like, now we're getting access to the real one. It's good usage of the Kari mode. Good 60% HP gone.
No more games. I'll bring justice with my own hands. Rising upper! We'll keep fighting to restore peace. Stronger.
So bosses can feel a little cumbersome because the counter just knocks them away. I think it would be better if the counter actually gave you a combo opportunity. It just feels like baiting out an attack like an old school beat 'em up and just going for a full punish. It just makes more sense most of the time.
Prepare to face the consequences. No more games. I'll bring justice.
There we go, nice. Alright, well that's a full playthrough with commentary. The tutorial explains most of the mechanics, but I feel like the only way for this game to be remotely fun is to play the characters that are not Kazan and do a lot of dash cancels. And I think it's really cool that they're setting the game apart. You know, one of the complaints about Street Sport was also that you couldn't run. But there are ways to move around the screen. You know, just kind of had to interact with the special move mechanic and the green health mechanic, and there was a nice risk-reward. Here, there's no real risk. It's just that when something is off-axis, the game feels really bad to play. And Kazan doesn't feel like he was designed by the same combat designers as the other characters were, where he's supposed to be a fast ninja, but he's actually objectively the slowest character. Things like that definitely need to be fixed. I think there should be a little bit more loose properties with the combo system, and then also more moves as well. But I think this game has a great foundation. I really like how colorful it is. Between this and Absalom, we're getting some nice color back to beat 'em ups. Everything they've shown of Double Dragon Revive looks very drab and dark and bleak, and it's really nice that this game is very bright, vibrant. The visibility of things that are happening on the screen is really good as well. So I don't think the game is as bad as people are saying. I think it has a great foundation. It's really going to depend on how they, you know, react to the feedback and how they improve the game going forward, because people have pretty much already told them the game feels very slow and clunky, and that's kind of only a half-truth. If you're on the same axis as something, the game feels fine, provided you're interacting with the dash cancel systems or playing one of the characters that can't dash. But other than that, I definitely have fun playing it. I don't know when they're planning to release this. I definitely feel it's not ready for release this year unless this is a really, really old build that we're playing, which definitely does happen sometime in the game industry. Like the public demo like this is very far behind, you know, what they're actually playing in the office. We'll see what happens, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I'll cut to the next game, which will be King Static. Hello everyone, this is going to be the second part of the Steam Next Fest demo overview video. This is King Static, which is a really cool, maybe not the most interesting art style, but considering it was made by one person, this game is really cool because it's a character action roguelike, meaning it has weapon switching, just dodges, enemy steps, all that good stuff. Now, there definitely are some things I don't like about the game, meaning the lack of animation canceling. The enemies in this game have like an armor system that prevents you from staggering them until it's broken, which is kind of similar to how it works in Assault Spy on some enemies, but you're a lot less responsive in this game compared to Assault Spy. The developer said that he's going to fix that, but I just wanted to bring some attention to this. I haven't played it that much, but it definitely is very promising. I think this year for action roguelikes has been really good. We got Dragon is Dead 1.0, we got Astral Ascent DLC, we have Absalom coming out, and this, which are all really cool roguelikes that are kind of getting away from the template of what a successful roguelike is these days, which is either a Vampire Survivors or Hades clone. I think it's really cool that this is a character action game now. It's definitely got some trappings of being, you know, solo developed and having a very limited pull rate for, like, feedback and stuff. Namely, the moveset is a little bit too small. The enemies are a little bit overtuned. The character doesn't always feel capable of dealing with them. But it is very enjoyable to play, despite that. It'll definitely get better with time. So as you see here, you can switch between 2 out of 4 weapons. So you've got the sword, which is your basic, high time, Helmbreaker, Stinger, all that kind of stuff. You have twin blades, the fists, which are like focused on not ground bounces, but wall bounces. So like you can pin enemies to the ground and stuff, which is really cool. And then you have the bow staff, which is kind of a mix between an aerial and ground focus. I do think that all the weapons in this game do suffer from not necessarily the moveset being too small, but like not having the utility you want. That's definitely something that can be fixed in your early or later on. You can see you got some enemy steps there. It does feel like player expression is a little bit weak because, the moveset's a little bit small, but that's obviously something you can fix later. Alright, let's play for a little bit. I actually haven't beaten this demo yet because I always get bodied by the boss because of struggling with the poor defensive mechanics. You show off the game for a little bit, though. I mean, enemies feel a little bit overtuned. they get their armor back too quick, and it feels like you can't always really cancel out of stuff when you want to. But the developer is aware of this, and did mention that he wants to improve that later on. Frame rate's definitely nice. Nice, solid, locked 180 FPS, which is my max refresh rate on my monitor. You're not going to get that in the Unreal Engine 5 games, are you? Aren't indie games great? So the cool thing about this game is it's like not really about stacking a bunch of damage. It mostly just gives you more properties, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, stuff like Warrior's Abyss kind of falls to that because, the combat is responsive enough that you can beat all the bosses without taking any damage. But because you need more damage to clear the game in a respectable amount of time, you kind of just circumvent all that. It's a problem in a lot of action roguelikes. I feel like only Blaze Blue Entropy Effect comes close because you are still expected to dodge attacks, and crowd control and chaining things together always matters. So it's cool that in this game it's like you're not getting like 2% more damage if you hit an enemy in the testicles or something, which is something that plagues a lot of action games or just video games in general. The gear is actually very impactful. Like you see here, anything that counts as a Helmbreaker causes a shockwave. This summons a sword whenever you do an enemy step or dodge, and then this gives you attack speed. So there's builds and stuff that you can focus on, but it's not entirely just, you do 20% more damage and you stack that until you one-shot everything. So you are going to have to actually play the game, which I think is nice. I mean, powerful builds are fun, but I like it when there's a balance between like actually being able to utilize a full moveset and then also having the power fantasy, because obviously roguelikes are permadeath, so anything you have will be erased. But so far, it feels pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and stop there because I do think this game has a lot of potential. It's mostly the enemies feeling overtuned, and the character doesn't feel responsive enough to deal with it. Would probably be the main issue, but the developer is aware of this, and he did say that he was going to fix it. So I don't know if this demo will be available after the next fest. I'll have to contact the developer and ask him, but this is definitely one of the most underrated games I covered on the Steam Next Fest. Obviously, stuff like Ragebound and Absalom, I've had big marketing campaigns with tweets, and Max did a sponsored stream for Absalom, so I feel like I don't really need to voice my opinions about that because other people have already. But I haven't really seen anyone talking about this, so I think it's pretty cool. I did try Morbid Metal. I would say Morbid Metal would probably be a very distant third place for best game I played during the Next Fest. The problem would be the performance is very poor, for one. Also, the move sets are too small, and I feel like for a character action game, stable performance matters a lot more than some other stuff that I play on the channel. So, if they fix that and maybe expand upon the movesets, the demo doesn't have any semblance of meta progression, so we don't know if there's going to be like more moves unlocked later. I thought about doing a video for it, but it mostly would just be saying that. So, if I feel like it, if I get the game to run well enough, I'll try to put out a video for it, but no promises. Anyway, that's my top two games for the Next Fest that aren't obvious ones like Ragebound and Absalom. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and put the games in the description so you can hopefully download them and give them a shot. I don't know if they'll be available by the time most of you guys watch this, but definitely put these games in your wish lists, especially for really small games like this game right here, King Static, which is made by one person. Wish lists help a lot with visibility. So if you like what you see here, whether you're able to play it for yourself or not, definitely drop a wish list and help this guy out because I think he's doing really cool stuff. As somebody who plays, several hundred hours of action roguelikes a year, I definitely think this is the most promising one because it's actually doing something different. Roguelikes have been very iterative and bland and uninteresting for the past couple years, ever since Vampire Survivors and Hades got popular. It's nice to see something that's trying to do something different, and it does it surprisingly well considering, like I said, one person development team, and then also doesn't really have a lot of people playing it. So once those things, they get a larger pool size for feedback, I think this game will actually be one of the best roguelikes of next year whenever it releases. Thanks for watching, everybody.